That shit crazy.
On a Saturday, it's All Even with your boy Barry Grant. You can catch me on Instagram and Twitter at All Even Podcast. You can listen to the show on SoundCloud as well as YouTube, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, and wherever you find your podcasts available. And trust me, go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, get those likes up, comment, share, tell a friend and tell a friend. The page is growing. We growing, baby. Every day. Every day I keep seeing it. So let's continue to ride that wave. Lots to get into. NBA trade deadline winners and losers. There's also some NFL talk. And Phone a Friend is back. And then the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week. So let's just jump right into it. The NBA trade deadline has come and gone. And it was a historic NBA trade deadline. Not because all the moves were impressive and all of that, but literally, it was historic. It was the most active moves in 35 years. So that goes to show you that a lot of teams are looking at themselves and they're trying to put themselves in position to either contend for this year or contend in the future in regards to picks or completely rebuild in regards to picks as well. So who are the standouts? Who did well and who did terrible? Because obviously there's always going to be winners and losers in every particular trade deadline or trade. You can always find winners and losers. So let's start with the team that impressed me the most at the deadline, the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls did very, very well for themselves. They went ahead and acquired Nikola Vucevic. They also got Al-Farouq Aminu, and they traded Wendell Carter, Otto Porter, and I think a couple first-round picks. For a team that's looking to get themselves in contention, this was a great deal. Nikola Vucevic is one of the best centers in the game. He can shoot from the outside. He can score in the inside. He's a good rebounder, mobile big man, skilled big man, very smart, can pass the ball as well. You put him alongside of Lauri Markkanen, that's a nice combination to have in your front court. You have Zach LaVine having a career year. He's definitely showed up in regards to his leadership. His body language was a little bad towards the season, but he really stuck with it, and I definitely have to give credit where credit is due. I bashed him for his body language early in the season. I have to commend him now because what he's done has shown me personally that he can be a leader. Or if he's not the lead dog, he can definitely be a legit number two. So kudos to the Bulls for pulling this off. They definitely made their team better at the deadline with this move. So you can only go up from here in regards to Chicago. The other move that was made by the Chicago Bulls was trading for Troy Brown Jr. They got Troy Brown Jr. and they gave up Daniel Gafford and Chad Hutchinson. Troy Brown Jr. is a versatile wing. That's a guy that can be able to help you defensively as well. So there's a lot that they're doing. There's a lot that I see that this new regime means business. They are not messing around. And it's about damn time. Chicago has been up and down over the last decade, but since Jordan left, they really haven't been that good. And it's probably about time that they start being legitimate, consistent contenders. You know, the Derrick Rose years were good. The Kirk Heinrich years were okay as well. So, you know, they've had some sprinkles of success in there, but it's time for longevity now. It's time for them to be able to put all of this talent to use, get some big free agents in here. They just got a big trade, so maybe they're trying to get another big fish. Because if you can get another big fish to pair up with a Nikola Vucevic, a Zach LaVine, a Kobe White, now you got something. Now you really have something. Another team that did well was the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets acquired JaVale McGee, and they also got Aaron Gordon in two separate deals. So they went ahead and they bolstered their roster as well. JaVale McGee, rim protector, rim runner, lob threat, very good defensive player, not much of an offensive player, but he can definitely be a spark off the bench when Jokic is out, when Jokic needs a rest. Maybe they'll go a big lineup and put Jokic at the 4 and McGee at the 5. We don't know exactly what they're going to do, but they're very, very versatile right now. And now that they got Aaron Gordon, that's another guy that you can be able to insert into that starting lineup, or you can have him come off your bench. This team has gotten better. Can Mike Malone get them over the top? I don't know about that. I'm still very critical of Mike Malone. He's a good coach, but I don't know if he's the coach to get them to where they need to be. But for right now, the organization is doing exactly what they need to do. Losing Jeremy Grant was tough. So the fact that they can be able to fill that gap, fill that void with Aaron Gordon, that's really, really important. So the Denver Nuggets did well for themselves. Another team that did well for themselves, the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat got Bjelica and Victor Oladipo in 2 separate deals. Those are 2 big deals. You get Oladipo. He's a 20-point scorer this year. Yes, his field goal percentage is down, but he was in Houston, and Houston was basically just mailing it in. They have a lot of veteran guys over there that just are not playing high-level basketball because everybody has quit on Steven Silas, which is another thing that, I will discuss later. But it's just, it's still a good deal. And if it doesn't work out, then they can always just cut bait with Victor Oladipo because he is an upcoming free agent. So he's playing for a contract right now, whether it be from the Heat or whether it be for somebody else. And Bjelica, stretch 5, can be able to stretch the floor, he can shoot. So they've added more shooting. They got rid of Kelly Olynyk. They got rid of Avery Bradley. That's fine because the additions that you got are better, in my opinion. You can be able to talk about Avery Bradley defensively. He's more versatile. He's more aggressive. He's a better defender possibly than Oladipo, but Oladipo brings more offense. So the Heat have put themselves in a good position to still contend for this year as well. The Portland Trailblazers are another team that did well. They got Norm Powell from the Raptors. They traded Gary Trent Jr. and Rodney Hood. So those are 2 good guys that were really staples on that Portland team. Gary Trent came up over the last couple seasons, really a good knockdown 3-point shooter. But Norm Powell can be able to get you a bucket. He is a bench guy that can be able to average 15, 16 points a game, 17, 20. Like, he can put up big points. So to have a guy with that type of capability with those other 2 playmaking guards that they have, that's what you're looking for. So Portland has definitely made themselves better. Shouts to Portland. They are a tough team. Dame Lillard is having an MVP season. Will he win the MVP? No. But he's definitely going to get some MVP votes. 100%. My man Dame Dollar's cooking. The other winner I would say would be the Boston Celtics. I think the Celtics did well with getting Fournier from the Magic because their bench has been terrible all year long. Watching the Boston Celtics is brutal. They got 2 studs over there. Okay, cool. Jaylen Brown and Tatum, they doing their thing. But when you look at that bench, it's just like, it looks like a weekend Warrior team. And not a good one. Not a good one. So getting an Evan Fournier is definitely big. Would I have liked to see them make more moves? Absolutely. But at least getting this guy who can be able to score some points, take the pressure off of everybody else, that's a plus because they did not have that. The other team that made a good move is the Los Angeles Clippers. Los Angeles Clippers, they traded Lou Williams and got Rajon Rondo. So Magic City Lou is really Magic City Lou now. He can enjoy being home and he don't have to go that far to go exactly where he wants to go for his quote-unquote wings. But this is a good move for the Clippers because they've been in desperate need of a point guard for a few seasons now. And the offseason, they didn't address it. And you would think that they would have addressed it, right? Because that was their weakness last year. No. We don't need a point guard. We're just going to let Paul George and Kawhi Leonard figure it out. Okay. Still need a point guard. And guess what they did? They went and got themselves a point guard. Now, Rondo has had a horrible season. A horrible season with the Hawks. Was he motivated? I'm sure not. He took the money. It wasn't a fact of he enjoyed the Hawks situation. It was a payday. He took the payday. Now he's in a situation where I think he wants to be in. So maybe we'll see a more productive Rondo. But now you got 2 guys in that backcourt in regards to Patrick Beverley and Rondo that are not really great shooters. Are they good defenders? Absolutely. Is Rondo a top-notch leader? Absolutely. So the Clippers definitely did well here. I have to give them credit where credit is due. You now have a leader that can be able to go down in the basement and tell everybody where the space heaters need to be, where the dehumidifiers need to be. He can be able to organize it and get people to do their job. So, hey, you need that. You need a leader to be able to organize the mess that's down there in that basement. So kudos to them. Now let's get to the losers. Let's get to the losers because there's always losers in trades or at the trade deadline in any sport. The first loser I will definitely put up is the Philadelphia 76ers. Can somebody explain to me why every contending team believes that George Hill is the missing piece? George Hill, everybody trades for George Hill. He's versatile, he's a veteran. We know what George Hill does in the playoffs. We've seen what he did with Cleveland. He missed a free throw that cost them game one, and we all know how the rest of that series went. That's what George Hill is. So I don't understand the big whoop about getting George Hill. He's been around the block and then some. And then some. So I don't get it. I don't get it. Other team that is considered a loser would be my LA Lakers. Not going to lie to you. I have to put them on the list. I got to be fair. The Los Angeles Lakers should have made moves and didn't. I'm not saying that they should have traded for Kyle Lowry. That's not what I wanted. No. But they should have addressed the needs. Now, are they looking long-term to say, okay, listen, we just won a championship. We don't have to throw away this season or throw away what we just created just to kind of compete. I get that part of it. But still, this team is floundering and they need to plug the holes. Dennis Schroeder, to me, has been a disappointment. And there's still no contract extension, which means that he's going to go into free agency and we're going to lose him for nothing. Great job. Kyle Kuzma, don't even get me started with Kyle Kuzma. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Because what I wanted to happen in regards to this rotation early this season was I wanted Frank Vogel to have Schroeder come off the bench, have Wesley Matthews start. You would have had more balance. You would have had more firepower come off their bench. I think that would have sustained the Lakers better early on in the season. They would have stockpiled a very, very decent record. And then once the injuries happen, they can be able to kind of come back down to the pack. But for right now, they are floundering and they need rim protection. They need bigs. They need shot blockers. They need guys that can be able to put the ball in the basket. And right now, if Kyle Kuzma is your number one option, you are in trouble. Big trouble. The other team that I can consider a loser, it's not fair to call them a loser, is the Orlando Magic. They decided that, listen, it's time to rebuild. It's time to get rid of all of these high-priced contracts that we have on our team and start from scratch. I like that. So I'm not going to consider them a loser. It's just that when you lose guys like Aaron Gordon and you lose guys like a Nikola Vukovic, those are big moves. So, of course, you're going to lose something because you've lost two of your cornerstone pieces. So they are, in a way, considered losers. But the real losers in my opinion, has to be the Oklahoma City Thunder. They have stockpiled so many draft picks over the next, 5 years. I think they have, 34 first-round picks or something like that. It's ridiculous. At some point, you're going to have to draft guys that are good and have them develop and pay them, not stockpile 50 billion picks and say, look what I have. We have all these picks. It's great in theory. It looks good if you're playing NBA 2K. It's not good in reality. Losers to me. Moving on, the buyout market is getting hot and heavy, y'all. Hot and heavy. I like exactly what I'm seeing. Andre Drummond and the Cavs have agreed to a buyout. They could not get a deal done, could not facilitate a trade for him, so he's now going to be a free agent. And the rumors are that Boston has already met with him and they've sold him on, the opportunity to play in Boston. That's all I'm going to say. I'm laughing because it's a joke. He's not going to Boston. So any Celtics fan that is excited right now, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. It ain't happening. So the two teams that I see that are the front runners, and Woj has also put this out there too in regards to the sources, is that the Lakers and the Heat, the Nets, those teams are the potential front runners. I think the Lakers, due to the need, due to the fact that there's a open spot for him there, I think that is the most convenient, the most seamless fit for him to be able to pair up next to Anthony Davis at some point, to be able to kind of give him a rest when need be, and getting him now, and he can be able to really like put his skills on display because he's going to be a free agent. It's definitely a win-win for both teams. So I definitely see that the Lakers are in the lead. But who knows, man? Anything can happen. Anything can be able to happen to from here till the time he clears waivers, till the time that he actually decides on where he's going to play. So we'll see. But I'm telling you, Boston, y'all need to cool out because it ain't going down. It ain't going down. And Brooklyn, if he goes to Brooklyn, I quit basketball this year. I will flat out quit. I don't care. I will cover it, but I'm going to cover it with no enthusiasm because it's just ridiculous for them to be able to stockpile that type of talent. No. But like I said, we're going to see exactly what happens. The other big name that has been bought out is LaMarcus Aldridge. LaMarcus Aldridge and the Spurs agreed on a buyout. He's now going to be a free agent just like Andre Drummond. And the front runners for him, I'm hearing, is Boston. I'm also hearing the Miami Heat. I'm also hearing the Lakers' name as well. The Clippers. But where do I think that he lands? I think that he lands with the Heat. I think it's a seamless fit. I think he's a Pat Riley and a Eric Spoelstra type of guy. He brings leadership. He has that outside jump shot, that 15-foot jump shot. So he brings a dynamic to that Miami team that they don't have. They have a lot of three-point shooting. He can be able to dice it up in the middle and get them a point down in the paint. So, I like the fit there. Clippers would also be an interesting fit, but he's not going to the Clippers. He's just not doing it. So, yeah, I think Miami is the number one front runner for him. We're going to see what other players end up in that buyout market as well. Maybe guys like Otto Porter, maybe a DeMar DeRozan. Who knows? There's a lot of names out there. I tell you what, none of them are going to the Clippers. I just want to throw that out there. Coming up after the break, Phone a Friend with my boy Kevin on a Saturday. It's all leaving. I've had so many people tell me that Anchor is great. Anchor is this, Anchor is that. But I have to tell you, man, those people were right. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your own podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Why wait? Get at it now. Welcome back, y'all. So let's get to my favorite segment, Phone a Friend.
Call him up, 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 call him up. We competing for a reason, trying to stay undefeated, yeah. Call him up, 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 call him up. Biggest game of the season, don't lie, we're all leaving, yeah.
Who we have on the show today is probably one of my arch nemesis in my life. We always argue. Not always, but we don't see eye to eye on much. But I think today we will. Because there's a lot of stuff that are out there, and it may get a little dicey in here, man. It may get a little dicey in here, but I've known him for a while. It's my brother, my boy Kevin. Welcome to the show, my man.
What's going on, bruh?
I'm here, man. Just a regular Saturday, doing what I do,
Understand, respect.
Of course. So, I guess we'll start with a little bit of the NFL. We saw the Miami Dolphins do some Madden stuff yesterday, where they made two trades within an hour. they moved the number 3 pick and then ended up getting the number 6 pick. So they did all of that to move down 3 spaces, and they got 3 first-round picks in the process.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts about what Miami did, and what are your thoughts about actually the 49ers moving up? Like, do you think that they have their eyes on a particular quarterback?
But I think Miami's smart. They need a receiver. They got Tua back there, and they don't have a go-to receiver for Tua. But they were smart on their part. And I would assume that the draft picks they gave up, they're hoping in the next couple of years they aren't that bad, so they aren't that good, first of all.
Right.
I think it speaks more to the 49ers, basically. I think the 49ers, I would be surprised if Jimmy G is there by the middle of the year.
But they said, they came out and said that, listen, Jimmy's our guy. He's going to be our starting quarterback. But I think that's all like, pomp and circumstance. I think they capping right now.
The Eagles said they believe in Jalen Hurts and tried to move up and draft Zach Wilson. Do you believe anything? These GMs are by habit liars.
Right. They're worse than politicians, man. They're worse than politicians.
They will sell you down the river. They will sign you to a long-term deal, then trade you in all season. If you believe anything a GM says, you are wildly inaccurate. I think the 49ers are intrigued by what somebody like Zach Wilson could look like under Kyle Shanahan.
Yes. But
Jimmy G, we know what he is.
Yeah, we know what Jimmy G is, but I don't think that Zach Wilson passes the Jets at 2. For what I heard in regards to the pro day yesterday, Joe Douglas was smitten like a woman that just saw her husband for the first time. Like, he was so close to him, close to Zach Wilson. He was like, in regards to like COVID restrictions and have to keep your distance, he was not abiding by the distance rule. He was all up on Zach Wilson. That's his new man crush. So I don't think that the Jets are gonna let him pass number 2. Honestly,
the idiocracy in that move is that they haven't moved Sam Darnold, and now guess what? You're gonna get pennies on the dollar if you try to move Sam Darnold now, because they know you're not gonna be able to keep 2. Right. Personally, I think Sam Darnold's in the same situation as Wentz. Yes. Even if they wanted to keep him, I think there's just too much damage done in that organization to keep him there.
Yeah, 100%. And the thing is, I just believe that this is a stupid move for the Jets to make. But
one of many.
But what else is new? It's the Jets. You go ahead and you ruin a quarterback, and then you're going to bring in another quarterback when you could have just fixed the quarterback that you have and give him weapons and an offensive line. I just don't understand the logic behind it, Kev. Like, make it make sense for me, please.
You can't make it make sense. That's why the Jets are the Jets. If it made sense, the Jets would be somebody else. The Jets would be a different team, but because they're idiots, they won't.
Right.
The problem is that people have to realize is that the Jets don't know what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
They don't know who they want. Remember, Joe Douglas was smitten over Sam Darnold when he drafted him.
Yeah. Well, no. It was Mike McCagnon. That's a Mike McCagnon signing. So you already know, new GM. They always like to say, we want our guy. I never know what that means, Kev, because you trade for other guys that are not your guys. So what does that really mean? It's just GM talk for BS. It really is.
But what people have to realize is that why they are so down on Sam Darnold is because they thought they were hiring an offensive guru in Adam Gase, and he turned out to be terrible.
Right. So how can you blame the kid for that?
Exactly.
I don't.
Me personally, I would take Sam Darnold Philly.
Yeah. Listen, don't be surprised if he ends up in Philly. I think I heard that. I think I heard that the Panthers have some interest in Sam Darnold.
They should. Teddy Bridgewater is terrible. I'm legit. He is a great. If you want him to come in and play a couple games and hold you down, but he's a terrible quarterback.
He's a transitional quarterback.
Yeah, he is a better version of what's my man Chase Daniels.
Come on.
He is that guy that you want to help learn, you help a young quarterback. But God help you if you have to start more than 5 games a year.
Oh my goodness, that's bad. That's bad. But what do you? All right. So since you're an Eagles fan, what do you think about the whole Zach Ertz thing? Do you think that there's a market for him, or are they just going to have to bite the bullet and cut bait?
There's a killer market for him, but teams are smart.
Yeah.
They know that the Eagles have done so much damage to Zach Ertz that they're not going to start the season with him.
Right.
So if I know I can get him for a penny, why am I going to pay a quarter?
That's very true. Yes. So what do you think that they ended up trading?
Just saying, well, you know what? I want him, but I'll just wait till you waive him.
Yeah.
I'll wait till you release him.
Well, I think they're very unrealistic if they think that they can be able to trade Zach Ertz for a high draft pick. I don't think you're going to get anything more than a 5th or 6th round pick for him, even if you do decide to trade him.
I think you would have. The problem with the Eagles and what the Eagles normally do, and this is about when Howie Roseman fired. Let me make that clear.
Right.
Is that they made the Zach Ertz thing too public.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows that not only do you have to get rid of him, if I don't trade for him, you probably have to waive him.
Right.
It's either take what I'm going to give you or leave.
Yeah.
It's the reality of it. And Howie Roseman, once again, did a terrible move yesterday. Let the rumor escape out that he wanted to move up to 3 to draft another quarterback.
Right.
When he couldn't get his quarterback, he said, you know what, I'm going to drop back and I'm going to get future picks for next year. Well, guess what? Those picks don't help Jalen Hurts survive this year.
Right.
His number one receiver is Jalen Reagor, which was a terrible pick.
Right.
I think you stay at 6 and you get him a Chase or you get him a Devontae Smith, but instead you send a sign to Jalen that we didn't trust you, but now that we couldn't get anything better, we're gonna rock with you.
Right.
It seems vaguely similar to what they did to Carson. And then they signed Joe Flacco. If you listen to Joe Flacco in his interview goes,
sounds like he wants to be the starter.
Exactly. They didn't talk to me about coming off the bench. I came here to compete. Oh,
all right.
Sounds like Nick Foles. Okay.
Exactly. Like they are pulling the rug from under Jalen Hurts before he even starts.
This is why I'm a Colts fan now.
So you dropped your Eagles flag and you're now a Colts fan for real?
Until they fire Howie Roseman, I want nothing to do with them.
Well, you may get your wish very, very soon, because I think if the Eagles start off 0-2, Howie Roseman is going to go. He's going to go, because out of all the quarterbacks you could have signed in the offseason, Joe Flacco is the guy that you pinpoint and target. I would have rather them take Andy Dalton, to be honest with you.
To be honest with you, what's going to happen is they're going to mortgage the farm for R. Kelly once he clears protocol.
Come on, listen, you got to keep it PG on my show, man. You got.
I didn't say anything wrong.
Yo, this Deshaun Kelly, is that what we call him right now? Come on, man.
Absolutely.
Come on, man. We don't know if it's true or not, but I ain't gonna lie to you.
Himself.
Kev, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like I think we had some conversations about this off the air, and we said that, listen, even if 19 of them are lying, like, you still got like 3 out there. Mm-hmm. Like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? Like, what's your thoughts on that? Like if it is true, what does the NFL do?
I have 2 thoughts on it. First of all, it'll be the greatest conspiracy theory if all 13 or 14 of these charges are inaccurate.
Right.
My next thought is, what are you doing on Instagram looking for massage therapists if you're Deshaun Watson?
And the crazy part of the story to me is that he said that his regular masseuse, due to COVID restrictions, he wasn't able to connect or whatever, and so you reach out to IG people. Like,
that makes sense. I think that COVID doesn't exist on Instagram, so I believe him.
Right. I just don't get it, man, because wouldn't you have your assistant handle that? Like, even if there is a conflict, a scheduling conflict with your masseuse, your assistant will be able to get you another one, right? A professional.
How about this? How about I just go to another NFL star and I say, hey, how about the masseuse you use?
Right. Hey, I know that your masseuse is really good. Like, can you be able to set me up with, like, what's her schedule? Yeah.
A man looks like a deviant right now. It's almost comical, son. It's almost comical.
Bro, what a twist. What a turn of events. Huh? Everybody was on the Deshaun Watson train. Hey, Deshaun, yeah, we want you. You go, man. We're behind you 100%. You get out of Houston. They've done you wrong. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm Deshaun Watson. I'm on the first plane to Cuba to hide out.
Oh, man.
Because he may not go to jail, but Jesus, he's gonna lose everything he has as far as
reputation.
I don't want him representing me.
Right. Like, he's a quarterback. It's not like he's a defensive tackle or a safety. He's the face of your franchise as a quarterback. So
I wouldn't be surprised if they're picking it outside all the games, huh?
Is this going to have a Michael Vick type of situation, like effect?
No, it's gonna be worse. Michael Vick was bad, but the Me Too now is, boy. Yeah, boy. He
chose the wrong movement to mess with. He chose the wrong movement to mess with. Yeah,
he's
man.
A bad boy.
I'm not. Listen, like I said, if it is true, any team that trades for Deshaun, they may have to be thinking about like a 2-year plan, because he ain't playing much that first year if they end up trading for him.
Don't get me wrong. I don't believe all 16 are correct.
Right.
But I do I believe there's some substance to 1 to 8% out of the yes. Yeah, I don't know how much truth there is or how much substance there is, but 1 out of 16 got to have something.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I completely agree, because that's where I'm at with it, because there's just too much. There's just too many to say that everybody's lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just I don't really
trust. I just don't trust anybody that goes on Instagram looking for massage therapists. The fact that he admitted to looking on Instagram for massage therapists, being a superstar in Houston,
right?
He could have went to the 7-Eleven and found a massage therapist. He could have went to a day party.
$39 million, and you going on Instagram? You going on Instagram with people that just literally graduated college, or they do it on the side as a hobby? Like, what are we doing here?
What are we doing Deshaun Wise. He's gonna be the butt of a lot of jokes.
Oh my God! Listen, I don't know, man. I feel bad for those women if these things are true, man.
Oh, it's not funny what happened to them, but the bad decisions that people keep making.
Exactly. I said it on my show, the last show I had. It's like, these athletes continue to make the same bad decisions. Like, they look at somebody else that doesn't, like, oh, no, that's not gonna happen to me, and then it ends up happening to them. Like, just learn. Study.
You know what the funny part about it is? I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I'm going to let you know. I think that this was in the works for a while, but the Texans organization kept it on the low. And once he went out there publicly and said, "Man, I'm done. You guys are incompetent," they were like, "All right, cool. We done protecting you."
Listen, I had said something very similar, Kev. I said it's very convenient that this happens to come out now, when he's adamantly said that he's not going to play for David Culley. He doesn't care who's on the roster. He's not speaking to no GM. He's not sitting down with the owner. He's not doing anything. He just wants to go. So it's very convenient that all of these things are coming out now. So I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm not a big conspiracy theorist. Probably not at all. But this is very convenient. I will say that. Extremely convenient. It just it don't smell right, but at the same time, it's like, if this got legs, boy, he's
you know what they say, man. You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes.
Yeah, definitely. So where do you think the Colts can be able to finish this season? Getting Carson Wentz was a big deal. They didn't spend anything in free agency. As much as I know, they didn't make any big moves. They still have a lot of cap space. They got a lot of guys to sign. They kept T.Y. Hilton, which was a good move. And they have good capital in regards to the draft. Do you think that the Colts can be one of the best teams, if not the best team in the AFC next year.
I think they will because I have faith in Frank Reich. I think Frank Reich was the reason that Doug Peterson won a lot of championships. And you know what Frank Reich and Indianapolis Colts have in their favor? If you remember when Carson Wentz was playing at the MVP level and they won the championship,
yes,
they ran the ball.
Yeah.
They led the NFL in rushing. Doug Peterson is an idiot, and he's where he is now because he decided that even when Carson Wentz was playing bad and his confidence was low, he was going to rush Miles Sanders 8 times a game.
Right.
If you look at the offensive scheme when the Colts Frank Reich was coaching, people were running wide open. The offensive scheme was just better.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, Doug.
I think Frank Reich. Frank Reich's going to be. I think offensively, to me personally, I think offensively he may be not as good as Kyle Shanahan, but he's right.
No, he's up there. He's definitely up there.
Yeah,
definitely up there. He's a great offensive mind, and yeah, like I'm definitely going to agree with you. I think Doug Peterson, after that Super Bowl win, he really got arrogant and felt that anything that he touches will turn to gold. Yeah, I could let Frank Reich go. I don't need Frank Reich to be able to be here and man this team. I can be able to do it myself. Well, he found out very quickly that that's not the case. You know, his book Fearless. he published that book Fearless after the Super Bowl win. Well, he's definitely he should be fearless now because
he's brainless.
He's brainless. He's definitely something less, right? Jobless, brainless.
Yeah, here's the main thing. Do I think Carson Wentz is going to be better than Philip Rivers? Yes, I do.
Yes, I agree too.
Yeah, so yeah, I think they can be the best. I think they can be great. I think they can be pretty good.
Yeah,
especially if this Pittman guy is as good as they say he is, which I don't believe. But I mean, Frank Reich says it, so I believe it. So I don't believe it, but I'll give it some credence.
Michael Pittman has shown he's shown some good flashes, man. I think he's a big body receiver. He can be able to go up and get the ball. So I think he has talent. Is he a number 1 type talent? I'm not sure yet, but he definitely does have talent.
And if they waive Zach Ertz is going to Indianapolis. Make no mistake about it.
Absolutely. I can definitely see that being a great fit because Carson Wentz loves him. They both love Frank Reich. It's a great fit. So I definitely agree with that 100%.
And let's not forget, Indianapolis, especially with the guy they drafted last year, probably has one of the best offensive lines in football.
Definitely.
Unlike that makeshift Little Giants line that Carson played for last year.
And it looks like it's gotten a little worse as well, too. So, you know, whoever is the quarterback behind that line next year is going to
Jalen will hurt.
Yeah, definitely.
Not sold him either.
What are your thoughts on the Patriots offseason? Do you think that it's going to put them back in playoff contention? Because the way I see it is that they finished 7-9 this year, and they had Cam Newton blow a lot of games for them. I think he cost them at least 3 games. So with that, you know, just those 3 games alone, they're 10-6. So, you know, do you see a team? Do you see what the additions that they made? Do you see them making a leap towards a playoff? I'm not saying they're going to be the best team in the AFC, but I do think that they look like a wild card team right now. Do you agree?
I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. But I saw 2 things that worried me last year. I saw some cracks in Stephen Gilmore.
Yeah.
He had a couple rough games
where
he gave up all 100 yards to people I would never think he would.
Right.
So I'm starting to see a couple cracks in his armor. And I'm just not a believer in it. They got a lot of offensive weapons, but I know that Josh McDaniels' offense is predicated on timing and accuracy.
Right.
Neither of which I believe Cam Newton has.
Cam has never been accurate in any season of his life.
He throws the ball like a child with that bad shoulder. Takes him probably 3 minutes to get the ball ready to throw. I think he legitimately throws like my mother.
Oh my goodness. Poor Cam. But listen, he has weapons around him finally. I think if there's a year that you would expect him to be a little bit more accurate than other years, it'll be this year because he actually has some good targets to throw to.
Yeah, the problem is, can he get him the ball? And right. I'm not sure he can get him the ball past 20 yards.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. And deep down in my soul, which I know I'm probably wrong, I feel like Belichick just started grabbing players so other people wouldn't get them.
So he did the Jim Gatto at St. John's? Is that what he did?
Yeah. Yep, the Jim Gatto at St. John's. He come over here, man. I'll make you a star. Once again, another Lion GM.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, don't go to King. Just come here. Don't go to Francis. Come here. Don't go to Lockwood. Come here. Like, you know, yeah.
And then he turns around and goes, "Oh, damn. What do I do?"
Yeah, have too many players. I guess you have to transfer.
Well, you know what you do when you do that? You just keep lying.
Unbelievable. Yeah. He was a legend liar at St. John's Prep. Shouts to Jim Gatto, scumbag.
I hate that, man. I never wish I hate is a strong word, but I hate that, man.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. I am with you. So,
but yeah, I just like I said, deep down in my soul, I feel like Jimmy Garoppolo is going to end up back in New England.
Yeah, yeah. But do you think that happens this year, or you think it happens after the season? Because Cam only signed for that 1 year, so I can see it happening after this year, right?
I would say we got to see what happens at the draft.
Yeah,
but I would agree with you next year.
So here's a question for you. What quarterback has impressed you in the draft? Like, which quarterback do you say that looks like he has the most upside? Is it Zach Wilson? Is it Trevor Lawrence? Is it my man from Ohio State? What's his name? I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, I don't like him at all.
Josh Fields.
I don't like him at all. James Fields or whatever.
Yeah, Josh Fields. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like him at all.
Or was it Justin Fields? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, Justin Fields. Sorry.
Yeah, Justin Fields. There you go.
I don't like him at all. On just what I've seen from him, he just doesn't give me that it factor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I saw him play in the national championship, I just wanted to see him a little bit more fired up, a little bit more.
He's a little laid back, a little too laid back.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can really say so, because I think honestly, when you look at all the other quarterbacks, I think we've ultimately become bored with Trevor Lawrence because we've been hearing about him so long.
Because he's so good, yeah.
We've been hearing about him so long. I think it's just a natural reaction for people to be like, all right, I'm tired of hearing him.
Right. Let's talk about somebody else.
He can do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So the new thing is Zach Wilson. I like what I saw from him, but I'm cautiously optimistic because I always remember Jamarcus Russell, the workout warrior.
Right. To be able to throw 90 yards on his knee, right?
The workout warrior. So I do like Josh Wilson, but like you said, he played for BYU. I don't think the competition was stiff. Yeah. And the pro day of him throwing to an empty with no defense, it's great for skill-wise, but when it comes to NFL and reading the defense, like you said, look at Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning wasn't the most gifted player, but there's a lot that has to do with what's in the mind. It's above the neck.
Right.
And I don't think what's above the neck for Fields and Zach Wilson.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on Fields. You know, I'm a little iffy on his motor. I don't know if his leadership motor is high. That's a concern as a quarterback. It kind of reminds me of Ben Simmons in basketball, that, you know, all the physical attributes are there, but he just doesn't have a high motor as a leader, and we've seen that in the NBA. So, but yeah, I like Trey Lance, Kev. I think Trey Lance is talented. He's coming out of the same school that Carson Wentz went to. Trey Lance has talent. He has a ton of talent. And I think that potential-wise, he may end up being the most talented quarterback in this draft. Will he be the most successful? I don't think so. I think that's definitely going to go to Lawrence. But I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Another sleeper that a lot of people like to clown on and like to downgrade him because of what he had on his team is Mac Jones. Mac Jones was highly accurate, and just because he played with a ton of talent, they don't care. It doesn't matter. Like listen, your job as a quarterback is to not turn the football over and to deliver the football. He did.
I like Mac Jones a lot.
Yeah, he did that. So I don't see why people are so down on him all because he plays for a juggernaut Alabama. That's not fair to him. You know what I'm saying?
You can be down on Matt Jones all you want. You better not let Belichick get his hands on him.
That exactly my point.
You down on him all you want.
Right. You can clown on him all you want and say that he's not fast, he's this and that. Let him go to New England and see what happens. Let him go to New England and see what happens.
I think that's what New England wants. I think if they get him, the Jimmy Garoppolo deal is not going to happen. That's
right. Nah, they wouldn't.
It's probably next year.
They don't want Jimmy if they get Mac Jones.
But if they can't get him, then they got to go Jimmy Garoppolo. But
yeah,
if you ask me, I think their eyes are on Mac Jones.
Yeah, listen, it'll be a smart play. It'll be a definitely smart play because what's the backup on New England right now? What's his name? Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham. He ain't never going to see the light of day on any team, so he might as well start plotting for the XFL because that's where he's headed. That's where he's headed.
If he's smart, you know what he does? He becomes a hell of a teammate. So they keep him around.
be
you need water,
teammate. Right? Be a great job, man. Be a great clipboard holder. Do that. Do that. Support him.
Do that with conviction.
Yep. Make sure you sit right next to Bill and get all the notes. Do that.
My man Chase Daniels been doing it for years, and he's made more money than anybody could ever think of. And he is terrible.
He is a career cheerleader, and he's making a good living. All right, good living.
He make more money than anybody out. He make more money than some starting quarterbacks.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, trust me, bro. It's nonsense. What are your thoughts on the Kansas City Chiefs? Do you think that they can be able to maintain, or do you think that they're going to take a step back?
They're gonna maintain until some of these contracts come up for renewal.
Yeah,
but I mean, you can never doubt on the Kansas City Chiefs because they do one thing well. They draft very well.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't really look at them because I mean, the perfect storm happened in that championship game. So I think, as far as free agent, they needed so little that you really can't. And I think they signed Kyle Long, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're fine. The only thing they needed was to strengthen that O-line, and that's what they did. So they're fine.
Yeah, I think they they got Joe Tooney, so that was a big deal. So they definitely locked up their offensive line. We're gonna see how long they can be able to consistently keep this going because it's
they got a 3 to 5. They got a I would say a 2 to 4 year window.
2 to 4 year window. That's fair. I could definitely see that. What are your thoughts on my Dallas Cowboys?
Mr. Emotional Jerry, who signs players with emotion.
He's had a decent offseason, though. I like the signings that he's had. Keanu O'Neal.
But here's one problem. With the exception of the Eagles, every team in that division has gotten better offensively, and you haven't improved your defense.
Well, we have improved out. So you don't think Keanu O'Neal and KZ is an upgrade?
How did Atlanta do with the same defense with Jim Quinn and those players?
Well, listen, Dan Quinn and those players, there was no motivation.
And here's my question.
Yeah.
Are any of those players guarding wide receivers?
They're not guarding wide receivers, no, but they're going to be helping over the top. But listen, corner, I don't think we're going to have a problem at cornerback this year, Kev, because Trayvon Diggs towards the ending of the year was a very highly graded out cornerback. He started playing much better. He's a rookie. You got to remember, rookies always tend to see the game a little bit better as the season goes on. So I think you're going to see a big year out of Trayvon Diggs year 2. We have the number 10 pick, and I think we're going to go get Patrick Surtain. I think Patrick Surtain is going to be the cornerback that we choose.
If you ask me right now to rank them, I would rank them at third best in the division.
Third best. So who's first?
If Daniel Jones can get the ball out of his hand, I like what the Giants did.
Okay.
And then you got to look at the Washington football team. They had a terrific defense. And they just got better offensively.
Yeah, they got Fitzmagic, they got Curtis Samuel. So I like what they've done as well. I am definitely scared of the Washington football team. I'm not scared of the Giants because of Daniel
Washington football
Jones.
team will be they are the Redskins, just in a different name. They're gonna shaft it when it matters. So yeah, you be scared of them up until the last couple games. But I tell you what, if the Giants can run the ball and they get any production out of that O-line, man, they got some weapons.
Yeah, they got some weapons, but the problem is that Daniel Jones has childlike hands. And if he can't hold on to the football, it doesn't really matter.
Oh, I agree.
So, we'll see. But yeah, both teams definitely did improve. So I think the NFC East is going to be a little bit more competitive than people have it out to be. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be as bad as it was this year, and it's going to be a little bit more competitive than people expect. So, we'll definitely see, what happens with my Cowboys. I listen, you know how I feel about the whole Dak Prescott deal. I'm not a fan of the money. But the fact that his cap hit is only $22 million this year, they're going all in for this year.
If they don't kicking the can down the street.
Right, keep kicking the can down the street. And I believe that if things don't go well this year, I think Zeke is out of town by next season. So
you only have one problem though.
Yeah.
Who the hell is going to take that contract? You're going to have to waive him and then take
it's definitely not going to be a trade. I don't think it's going to be a trade at all. It may just be a they may ask him to restructure. He may say no, and then it'll be like, okay, well, we're just going to take this hit. So yeah, we'll see what happens, man. But let's segue into college basketball. Me and you are diehard college basketball fans. Were. And, we are so disappointed in the product. Like, I can tell you that I haven't watched much college basketball this year. In the last couple years, it's been dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. So, what is your thought on the state of college basketball? Because, we've had discussions, and I've said that the one and done rule has killed the sport. And what I'm looking at right now is a dead sport. It's exciting, of course, because it's always March Madness. It's one game elimination. It's going to be exciting. But what are your thoughts about college basketball? Like, can they be able to recover, or is it really just something that, it's not going to be as competitive anymore?
The one and done has not messed up basketball. What has messed up basketball is the AAU.
Okay.
These parents are way too involved. They're tweeting, they're criticizing coaches, making it very hard for these kids. And guess what AAU is doing? They're spoiling these kids.
Yeah.
None of these kids want to work anymore. Everybody believes the hype and thinks that they're a star and they should be one and done.
Right.
When in actuality, half the kids coming out aren't good.
Yeah.
They're decent players, but to be a good basketball player, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
They're not NBA good, but you got to remember the worst NBA player will give the best college person buckets.
Right.
I think that now that the NBA has gone to this big three style of basketball where everybody gets to travel, and if you don't like what's happening, instead of getting better and fighting through and showing some gall, you're just going to be able to leave, then that's where we have.
Yeah, man.
You're going to continue to see the sport struggle because guess what? You don't have the connection. You don't have the Shane Battiers. You don't have that.
The Tyler Hansboroughs.
That kid who wants to win so bad that even though he's not good, he's going to will himself to be a great player.
Yeah. Well, you remember what I said, man. Like, my last favorite Duke team was the John Shire-led team. That was my last favorite team that I appreciated because that was a hard-nosed, go get it, not super talented team or individuals, but they were a great basketball team together. So, that's where I see.
Like right now, I remember the old college basketball. I was watching Kentucky play North Carolina in the Sweet 16. I'm watching Oregon State playing Loyola Chicago. Are you kidding me? Right. The best part of this is watching the none.
Yes. She's definitely entertaining. Yeah.
As much as I'm happy for these kids who don't get to show their talents because they're not on TV, like the Loyola, not interested in this.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. I haven't watched a second of the tournament. Whatever happens, I think me and Guido filled out a bracket. He did one for me, and I picked Baylor to win a national championship. So I think I'm still on track for that.
It's passed out.
But we'll see what happens with that. But the other thing that's going on in college basketball right now is the outrage, quote unquote, the outrage of women's athletics to men's athletics, where the women's gyms don't look like the men's gyms. And now there was a report that came out that the NCAA admitted that the budget for the men's basketball is not the same budget than it is for the women's basketball. Now, Kev,
and we're surprised because
me and you have been watching basketball a long time. Who is shocked by this news? Who?
Not me. You spend more money on things that make you more money.
Right. It's not the fact that the product is bad. It's just the fact that if there's not a huge demand for it by the TV contracts, by the sponsorships and all of this stuff, where's the funding going to go? To where the demand is. That's business.
Forget that. All these people who want it to be different, forget money. How about they turn on the game? You can't even get people to watch the game.
Yeah.
It would honestly, business-wise, spending the same amount of money for the women's as the basketball would be a terrible business decision just because of the rate of return.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's my thing. It's like
if we're talking business, or if we're talking lollipops and everybody deserves a trophy, then yeah. Then I think they should do it that way. But guess what? This is a business.
I agree.
And until I see the viewership of the national championship game of the females, I mean, who's watched it since UConn had that great team that ran through?
Listen, if I were to tell you that I'm an avid women's basketball watcher, I would be lying. So,
remember when I used to watch it and people used to clown me?
Yeah. You know, it's not like I don't knock the sport. It's just that I just don't watch it. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. It's like even in the NBA, we've had this conversation as well. Like there was some graphic that they showed where, you know, the total salary for the NBA for all the players is $12 million. And you hear all these athletes saying,
Cody Zeller makes more a year than the whole WNBA.
Cody Zeller makes more money than that. Was the graphic. Exactly. And everybody's outraged. They're like, oh, well, you know, they're not making any money. They should be making more money. And then you see the players wearing WNBA sweaters and hoodies,
free sweaters,
and all that stuff. And it's like, if they really want to better the sport for the women, wouldn't they try to help the women? And what we mean by help, we mean by help financially, right?
Hey, LeBron James, go give $1 million so they can bring more players and they can get better things. I don't see it. Hey, David Stern has some revenue sharing going on. I don't see it happening.
Adam Silver.
It's all lip service.
Yeah.
It's all lip service.
That's what I'm saying is, and also too, the people that are actually campaigning for the WNBA to be a bigger, to be bigger in the limelight in regards to sporting right now, are they supporting the brand? Are they doing what they have to do? Are they pushing for sponsorship? Are they knocking down the doors? I don't think they're doing that.
So just ask those players how much of them watched the WNBA bubble last year.
Right.
Not one.
So it's just
who won the championship for the WNBA last year? Let me ask you
that. Who was it? Vegas?
I don't know. And I'm almost willing to bet 30% to 50% of anybody who's in the sports world doesn't know. And there's nothing negative about it. It's just that if you want it to be better, they have the power to make it better.
Right. Yeah.
Wearing a hoodie and a jersey to the game means nothing to me.
Right. Posting on an Instagram that I stand with my WNBA sisters. Like, nah. How about
put your money where your mouth is?
That's it. If every player donates $100,000, do you know how much money that is in regards to the NBA, the WNBA being able to use for revenue streaming or player salaries or health benefits, retirement packages, all of that stuff. Like,
it is criminal how much Diana Taurasi makes a year.
Yeah, and she's one of the greatest WNBA players to ever walk the planet.
I agree with her. I think she's one of the best female basketball players ever. It's criminal.
Yeah.
She makes less money than I do, and I work a regular 9 to 5.
Right. So it's that's my thing. It's like, okay, cool. We get the outrage. We get, we understand that you guys want to support, but you gotta put your money where your mouth is. Like, it's not about, saying, it's just like, all right, cool. If I'm struggling financially and, you're like, man, that sucks. Anyway, bro, I'm definitely gonna, tell a couple people to support your podcast. But you that may have the money, you're not stretching nothing to me.
You know who those guys are? You know who the NBA players are? They're the guy who I own a clothing store, and they come in and they want a discount. And I'm like, man, I'm trying to survive. How about you pay a little extra because I'm your man? Hey, man, can I get this for free?
So they're the IOU guy in the store.
Yeah, man. They're the man that they're the people that owe you $10, and when you turn on your Instagram, they in Miami popping bottles.
Oh my God, man! It's true. It is true though. Like, it's just, I
gotta hunt you down for my $10.
I don't get it, man. I don't get the fake outrage. You know what I mean? But
I don't even want to do this. You're making me do this dumbass pop.
Moving on to the NBA. What are your thoughts on the trade deadline?
Huh?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the trade deadline?
Yawn.
What do you mean yawn?
It was the most drawn back trade deadline. I think they made a lot of good moves that helped the team. Some people mortgage reform. There's very few deals that I liked.
So what are the deals that you liked?
Who made it? I like what was it, Denver or what Denver did?
Yeah, Denver got Aaron Gordon, and they also got JaVale McGee.
Yeah. That's true.
So what are your thoughts about that? Like, why do you like that deal?
Oh, I think it's a good deal. Because I think now you have a 7-footer on the floor at all times. I just think I like it because they didn't try to do too much. They have a very good team, and they didn't say, let's make a move just to make a move.
Yeah.
They made a move that filled the need, and that's what they did.
So who do you think? So what about the Bulls? Do you think that the Bulls did well, or you're not impressed with what they did?
Who did the Bulls get again? I can't remember.
They got Nikola Vukovic, and they also got Troy Brown Jr. in 2 separate deals.
I like the Vujovic deal. The problem is that they're in the East right now, and even with those deals, I just don't see them beating the upper echelon of the East. I think if they made good deals to get them in the middle of the pack. But I mean, other than that, I don't know what else they made.
What about Troy Brown? You think Troy Brown could be able to help?
So, who?
Oh man.
Will he be able to help? Yes. Make a difference?
Yeah, definitely not a difference maker, but in regards to just being a versatile wing, I think he can bring a lot to the table.
I don't doubt he could. I'm not sold. I'm not sold on him. He was a throw-in. He wasn't a critical piece. It wasn't like, well, if you don't give us Troy Brown, this deal's not getting done.
Yeah.
Vucevic is the guy, and now that he'll have expectations, like I always tell you, it's easy to do great when nobody expects you to do good, like he was doing in Orlando. But now he has expectations.
Yeah.
So we have to see how that works.
Right. What are your thoughts on what the Clippers did and got Rajon Rondo?
Hoping to catch lightning in the bottle twice, which rarely happens.
Right, because Rondo is having a terrible season.
Like my man Nick Wright said, he is the most important 4.4 points a game person I've ever seen.
He's having one of the worst years statistically of anybody that's considered a difference maker.
And guess what you do? You got him for 2 years. Congratulations.
Right.
I like Rondo if we get rid of if they would have got rid of Patrick Beverly. But the fact that they kept Patrick Beverly is
Yeah, but who was going to take that money, Kev? Nobody was going to take that $13 million.
Nope.
Nobody's going to take that.
Not trading it for a corn dog.
So they got two immovable trades right now. They got two guys in their backcourt in regards to their point guard position where you're not going to get a lot of offense out of it.
You got two guys that are offensively
they struggle.
Offensively struggle.
Yeah, they struggle.
I'm not sold.
So I mean, from a leadership standpoint, I get it, but I'm not going to say that this is going to be like a championship groundbreaking move for the Clippers. So
especially when Ty Lue is one of the worst offensive coaches in the game right now.
Yeah.
His system of pick and roll, and I'm sorry, pace is not the answer for everything offensively.
Well,
hey, what are you guys going to do? We're going to play with pace.
Well, this was his problem in Cleveland, remember?
Yeah. The answer for everything is, all right, so what are you going to do with Braun? We'll play with pace. Want to move faster. Okay. Who was Jonas Ilgauskas can't even move, and he's like, "Hey, we want to play with pace."
Who was your favorite Braun coach? Was it Eric Spoelstra when he was like, "We're gonna land the plane," or was it Ty Lue with his we're gonna play with pace? Which one?
I think it's gonna be Ty Lue because I actually believe Eric Spoelstra can coach.
Right. Yeah.
Ty Lue just has his offensive philosophy. His offensive philosophy is Mike Brown like.
Yeah.
Mike Brown was pretty bad too.
Mike Brown was a very marginal coach.
And my favorite was when Mike Brown played with the when he coached the Warriors and people thought that, oh man, he's not that bad. He can win.
Yeah.
Listen, me and you could have coached that Warriors team.
Facts. That's definitely facts.
Now let him. Steve Kerr missed a couple games now. Let Mike Brown coach this Warriors team.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Okay. They'll be fine and trash.
Yeah. Guess what they'll do though? They play with pace.
Right, play with pace.
And they'll run Mike Brown's favorite play.
1-4 high, right?
1-4 high or 1-4 pick and roll.
Oh my goodness. So what about Boston getting Evan Fournier? Do you like that move for Boston, or you think it wasn't enough?
It was a good move, but it wasn't anything to write home about.
Yeah.
They gotta move somebody. And I think they also lost. I think as much as I think he wasn't that good, I think Theis was pretty good for them. And the fact that they lost him.
Yeah, they traded Theis for Mo Wagner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have Mo Wagner and you're gonna depend on Tristan Thompson. God help you.
So you know it's I Danny Ainge is just he impresses me all the time. Being such
Danny Ainge is that guy who plays Monopoly and he buys up the whole boardwalk and still loses the game. He just wants assets. He buys the whole boardwalk, and you're like, man, you're losing. He's got houses on every block.
Yeah, that's exactly who he is. That's exactly who he is. That's
He's
facts.
the worst Monopoly player most Monopoly player in your crew.
He's a bad used car salesman. That's what he is. That's what he is.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but guess what? He's got a lot of draft picks that he's not going to draft very well.
Right. Draft another Grant Williams and a Robert Williams.
Yeah, another 6'3" power forward.
Right. Another Sammy Ojale that's 6'2" and 260 pounds. So
looks like he should be lifting weights instead of playing basketball.
He should be doing anything else but playing basketball because he's not a basketball player.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I'm saying, what are your thoughts on what the Lakers didn't do? Do you think that it was smart for them not to make a hasty deal because, you know, they were thinking about bringing in Kyle Lowry, and the Raptors wanted Taylor Thornton Tucker in regards to the in regards to the deal. So they wanted him, and they would have gave up Kyle Lowry. So the Lakers said, "Nah, we're not going to give up THT." Do you think that was a smart move on the Lakers' part?
Yeah, because I don't think Kyle Lowry got much left on the tires anyway.
Right.
I think you make that deal, you clearly making a deal for 1 year. You do not have the future of the organization thought of if you make that move.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, Kyle Lowry is a great player, but he's been through some battles. And what is he in his 12, 13 years, something like that?
Yeah, he just turned 35, bro.
Yeah, okay. No, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. I was happy that the deal didn't go through. As much as I don't like Kyle Kuzma, I don't think that putting a Kyle Kuzma and a Kyle Lowry together would have made sense this year, because now you're giving up all of your depth, and you still have issues in regards to protecting the rim. What the Lakers need to do is what they have to do in regards to the buyout market. Drummond or a LaMarcus Aldridge. Do you think that Drummond is the guy to get for the Lakers in the buyout market?
Yeah, because if Anthony Davis comes back healthy, you can have Anthony Davis step out, and then you could have Drummond still maintain the paint. And I don't think you want Anthony Davis and LaMarcus Aldridge both shooting jump shots.
Right. Where do you think Aldridge goes?
Miami.
You think that's the best fit for him to go to Miami?
Yeah, they got to get this Bam Adebayo at center is not gonna last much longer.
Yeah. So what do you think his natural position is? You think that's power forward?
Yeah. At this point in his career, Aldridge can play center in the East.
Yeah, he can.
He'll be going against Tristan Thompson and who I don't even know who the rest of them are, but I mean, yeah, he can play center. He can play center in the East.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I could definitely see that.
Bam can shoot a little bit, handle the ball. Bam don't need to be playing no damn five.
Yeah. And I guess we'll kind of end off on the whole Steven Silas in the Houston Rockets situation. What are your thoughts about what's going on there? And, do you think that they're actually doing their coach a service? I really don't think that they've put him in a position to look like he's a strong coach. What is your thought about that? Because I think that these, yeah,
James Harden and the Speaker of the House, Kyrie Irving, they always want to talk about getting black coaches jobs. They have one that has a job, and they've essentially stripped all his talents away from him and left him with players that nobody else wants to see. Nobody else wants. They've sabotaged him.
Yeah. So do you think that they can be able to can he rebound and still have a decent career? Because I think that he can coach.
Not with those players.
Yeah, they have to clean house. They got to get rid of Wall. They got to get rid of Eric Gordon. They got to get rid of, they already got rid of PJ Tucker. They have to get rid of all the veteran guys that are mailing it in, because even Victor Oladipo, before he got traded, you looked at his numbers, everybody's like, oh, well, he's averaging 20 a game. Well, he's shooting 41%. So that just tells you that he's jacking a lot of shots, and he's not playing inspired basketball because he was turning over the ball at 3 turnovers a game. So, what are you really doing? Everybody's saying that how can you lose that many games in a row with that much talent? Well, when you got your two leading scorers turning over the ball at least 6 times a game, that can happen.
Here's my other question. All right. With all that talent you have, when is the last time any of them were considered winners?
None of them.
Exactly.
None of them. Victor Oladipo, never been a winner in my eyes. John Wall, never been a winner in my eyes. Eric Gordon, same thing. So yeah, that's exactly the thing right there, is that these are not winning players, and they have attached this young coach with guys that do not win on a consistent basis and don't know what it's like to galvanize a locker room and get guys together and say, hey, listen, we gotta do it this way, and then we'll be able to get out of the funk. No, they're just gonna be like, oh, well, I'm getting my numbers. They're one of those dudes like, we used to play rec ball, Kev, and we lose the game by 15, and guys are at the scoring table and seeing exactly what their stats were. That's what they have on Houston. So it doesn't matter you losing by 15 or 20. As long as you got yours, you're good.
Especially my man, the gangbanger, John Wall.
Right.
You got players that have been more occupied with being a star outside of basketball than they have being a star inside basketball.
Yeah. Listen, it's a tough situation over there in Houston, man. But hopefully he can be able to right the ship, because I do think that he does have the potential to be a good young coach. But it doesn't look good. I don't know if the Houston Rockets know exactly what they're doing over there. So he just may be another casualty. And then once he gets fired, you're gonna see all the tweets and the IG posts from people. Oh, well, he was treated unfairly. But what did you do to support him when he actually had the job? Not much.
Mm-hmm.
Not much.
That is correct.
So, yeah, man. But before we go, Kev, I like to always do a little rapid fire with my guests. So I'll throw out a couple names out there. You tell me who's better and who's not, and we'll go from there. So NFL, who would you rather have, Randy Moss or Calvin Johnson?
Give me Calvin.
Calvin Johnson. Who would you rather have, Beast Mode or LaDainian Tomlinson?
Give me LaDainian.
Let's see. Who would you rather have, Donovan McNabb or Patrick Mahomes?
Mahomes.
Who would you rather have, Andy Reid or Bill Belichick?
Give me Andy. I think Andy's shown he can do it with all types of players.
All right, that's fair. I like that one. Better defender, Kawhi Leonard or Scottie Pippen?
Scottie Pippen.
Better scorer, Kobe Bryant or James Harden?
No, I'll go James Harden. So. That man is a savant.
So you're gonna say that he's a better scorer than Kobe? Come on, man. Man.
I don't think he's a better player, but yeah, damn. The numbers that dude puts up is
it's video game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean the step back three is automatic. If you're asking me in the playoffs, I want Kobe Bryant. When the last game shot, I want Kobe Bryant. Any game that matters, yes. We're talking about 82 games. Who's a better scorer? Give me James Harden.
Who would you rather have, Allen Iverson or Steph Curry?
Iverson.
Yeah, I go that way too. Better big man, Hakeem Olajuwon or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Give me Olajuwon. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was scoring when players were shooting underhand.
Come on, man! Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, no, give me Olajuwon.
Better passer, LeBron James or Magic Johnson?
Yeah, I think I would go. I would probably go LeBron.
Okay. Better point guard, just pure point guard. Chris Paul or John Stockton?
Chris Paul.
Interesting. Okay.
Son, John Stockton's only showing me the ability to be a great point guard in a pick-and-roll offense. Remember how good Darren Williams looked playing in that offense, and then when he left it, how he looked.
Yes.
There.
All right. Better leader, Jason Kidd or Steve Nash?
Okay, all day.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, the jump drive all day.
Now, here's one that's gonna hit home for you. Better big three, the Heatles or the Brooklyn Nets right now?
Heatles.
You going with the Heatles?
Yeah, because I actually think they like each other. They I don't think Brooklyn knows. Like, I don't think they know how to make themselves fit in together. I think the Heatles adapted. But they generally wanted to play with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me them all day.
Yeah, that's fair, man. I like that. Well, Kev, my man, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show today, man. So, it's I'll talk to you, and I'll have you on the show probably later down the year when the playoffs start, and we'll see who's doing what.
All
right, man. I'll talk to you. I'd like to thank my man Kev for coming on the show. Big shouts out to Kev. Keep doing your thing, man. Keep hustling, keep grinding. Always a pleasure talking sports with you. But don't talk to me about no Eagles. Don't talk to me about no Carolina Tar Heels. Don't talk to me about none of those. None of those. Because I will fight. I will fight. Coming up after the break, the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week. On a Saturday. It's all even.
Yo, it's your man DJ G Money from that Flip the Script podcast. You see it? We in the studio right now. Flip, shut up. Yeah. Oh, listen. Shout out to the All Even podcast. My man Barry Grant Jr. What's up, man? What happened? What you want to say to the people?
Shout out somebody else's podcast?
Yeah, my man got the joint. What's up?
All Even?
All Even podcast.
Yo, it ain't even up here, boy. We put this, yo, what's up, man? All Even. Yo, oh my God. What's up with you, man? Now that's a shout out. You keeping this?
Yeah, keep all that. You want to jump
All
on the
Even
camera?
podcast, right?
Yeah, All
Shout out
Even.
to All Even podcast, right? All Even? That's your man?
My man.
All right, shout out to All Even podcast.
100%. He cool. Is he cool? Let me see. Is he cool?
G. What is it, G?
Oh.
I said about G.
He cool, man.
This is Cigar Gents and Gals. Just want to give a shout out to All Even Podcast, the best sports podcast out there. Keep up the amazing work. Also check us out at cigargentsandgals.com. We're everyday apparel for cigar smokers. Let's get it.
What's going on? What's up with you? It's your boy the Candyman, the ALFRE to the D. It's your boy Alfred from the Rap Lab podcast.
And it's the one and only True G. Just call me the QG from the Rap Lab podcast.
And you tuned in to All Even with Barry Grant.
Boy, that shit crazy.
Welcome back, y'all. So without further ado, the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week. We pick candidates on Tuesday and Saturday, and then we pick the winner on that Saturday show. So the fact that there was no show on Tuesday, we're going straight to the winner. May I have the drum roll, please? And the winner is Marshawn Lattimore, cornerback for the New Orleans Saints. Or might be former cornerback of the New Orleans Saints. Marshawn Lattimore is mine because he was charged for receiving stolen property. The Cleveland native, Ohio State alumni, very good NFL player, high caliber talent, was caught with a stolen gun. With 4 other guys, I believe, or 3 other guys. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, let me get this straight. This is a pro NFL player that is on a $15 million contract. At that point, you can be able to just purchase a gun from a legal, vetted store. or establishment or whatever, magazine. You go get it from Pookie in the hood? What are we doing here? This is why people look at us crazy. And when I say us, I mean people of dark skin complexion, African Americans, black people. They gonna look at us wild because you have this innate ability, this great ability to play football. You're getting paid for it. And you decide on your free time to parade around with a stolen gun like you just an average Joe in the street, like you still Pookie from the hood. You've elevated, bruh. You got money now. You can be able to do different things, move differently. Nah, you still want to be the knucklehead in the hood. So maybe the dummy truck just continues to ride over you. Doesn't matter if you got $15 million. Maybe jail is something that will wake you up and say, holy crap, I actually am very fortunate. I actually am an NFL player. I don't need to cop a stolen handgun. And on what planet am I going to hit up Ray and say, yo, Ray, listen, man, I need a burner. Make sure you can get that for me on the cheap. Yo, I can afford it. I can go get whatever I want to. Why do I need Ray? Help me understand. Make it make sense. I'm not even going to call the other dudes that you had in the car dummies. Only him. Only this guy. Because he is the one with the most to lose. Not them. They riding around with him because, hey, NFL player. That's my man. I could be able to get a few more girls and a little bit more clout because I'm running with him. You're the one. This guy, Your Honor. This guy, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, has a ton to lose. But does he see that? No. So maybe jail will make him realize that. Maybe if he gets hit with another dummy stick, maybe it'll wake him up. Maybe if Sean Payton says, you're cut today, he'll get it. Maybe if the NFL comes down and says, you're not going to play football again next year, maybe then he'll get it. But why does it always have to get to this level for these guys to understand what they're doing? You can't just ride around in your old hood, bruh. You got money, bruh. You're a high-profile athlete, bruh. You're in the 1%, bruh. Now, if you want to go back to slinging it in the hood, you know my catchphrase. You know my line. Burger King is hiring. They always hiring. And for you, they will definitely push your resume to the front of the line. Why? Because maybe the manager is a New Orleans Saints fan. So Marshawn Lattimore, you took an L to Tom Brady in the playoffs, and you taking an L in the offseason too. But you're a winner for Dummy of the Week. That's all for this show. I'll see you guys next week. Regular time on Tuesday. Until then, stay safe. Stay cool. Peace. You can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at All Even Podcast. Listen to the show on Anchor, Spotify, SoundCloud, and wherever podcasts are available. And check out my YouTube channel, All Even Podcast. And don't forget to share, like, and hit that subscribe button.